All
Thanks
right.
for having me
So
back.
with the last conversation that we had, we were talking about your systems, and we were talking about, all right, I wanted to review some of these before we start going on to some new things. So you can choose any category that you want, whether it be the recruiting, whether it be the doing the loads, scheduling those,
Okay.
any one of them. But how has that been going for systematizing some of those things?
It went well. It's been going well. So I want to touch on the booking the loads
Okay.
part. I want to touch on the booking the loads part. I have all that written down. So what I did was how I began to systematize everything. What I did was I took every step, that I would take. Is this what we're talking about, right? Like,
Mhm.
logging on to
Yep. Yep. Taking
the
every step
website.
and writing it down. Yep.
Yeah, I took every step and writing it down. I actually think it's on the phone that we're recording on, but that's cool. I took everything and wrote it down. And this week, like I said, I kind of stepped away and I gave it to Krista.
Mhm.
You know, she's normally managing all the drivers and checking up with the brokers and everything
Mhm.
like that. So I put her in position this week with the notes that I wrote down um, to book the loads, and so far it's been okay.
Mhm.
Um,
How many has she done, just like for reference?
so for reference, we had uh, 3 trucks running
Okay.
this week, and it was about 2 loads for each truck, so about 6
Okay.
since we last talked, and it was pretty good. The guys made out well, nobody complained, and they were on top of it, so
Good.
that was pretty good. I still think she called me. She did call me when I was away on
Mhm.
business. She called, but instead of giving her a direct answer, I said, I shared my notes with you. Just go back and look at the notes, and and use it that way. So
Good.
uh,
That's good.
yeah, I just did it like unconsciously. It was just
Yeah.
like, do that.
Yep. Yep.
So, but
That's
it
good.
worked out well. Yep. She brought her computer down today, just before we got on the phone. A guy's, he'll be dropping off a load. He's looking for another load, and she was just so excited.
I was gonna ask you that. I was like, just for my sake, how has that made her feel? And I'm sure, enthusiastic, excited.
Oh man, she was so happy, man. And
Mhm.
she
Mhm.
texted me on his phone. I was on another call this morning, like I was mentioning, with a team member, um, going over to recruiting, and she was like, "Answer the phone. It's about business." I said, "This is about business too. This is important." She was like, "Dude, I booked the load, man." She booked the load, and she did very well. When I went back and I looked at the market, um, her numbers, she probably was about like $120 off, but it was good.
I mean,
I can
yeah, yeah.
sacrifice that for her, trying, and I can go back and say, well, this is what you see, what you got for that load, and you see what the potential was or what the market is going for. But look how
Mhm.
$100,
Mhm.
I can fix that. I
Yeah.
don't want to get
Yeah.
into the to the
Yeah.
habit of fixing it, but you did an awesome job.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah,
So
especially when you're dealing in the thousands. I mean, $100, you're like, okay, good job.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I said, you're doing a great job. So she's been doing it, and I feel like I can really focus on the other things.
Good. And so that was completely written down. She had something to reference. She had something to look over, and
Yes,
fully autonomous.
yes. So that part is phenomenal.
Okay.
Coming together. It's coming together.
Mhm.
Um, it's coming together. Another thing that we're working on is the dispatching side.
Mhm.
And what that entails is, our personnel or the dispatcher checking up on the drivers, checking on the equipment, and this helps us with scheduling. So this will help Krista with scheduling.
Mhm.
So instead of her, so Krista, she's checking on the drivers, and she is, checking on the location of the equipment. And then she's implementing, that sales process in order to get, the right load for the driver or whatever, based off where they are. But we're working on getting that a little bit better. We came across something called Truck Logics. I wish I would have shared this with you earlier in the week so that maybe next week I can do this. The actual things like sort of notes that I write down or things that I come up with, after our call.
Yeah.
Maybe I can share that with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. So that you can see it. So yeah, with the dispatching process, it's a platform called Truck Logics, and they allow us to do everything through there. It connects to our QuickBooks. It connects to our ELDs. And what the ELDs is, that's the electronic login device. This allows us to see, where the equipment is, how far the driver is from a stop, and so on and so forth. And dude, I remember you were saying this, as far as like, you was like emails. He was like, don't get caught up in emails. Lorenzo, don't get caught up in doing that. A CEO is not worrying about email.
Yeah.
So what this system does is it alerts the customer. So when the driver is 3 hours out,
That's awesome.
In the email, it'll send an email to the customer when the driver arrives and drops off. Automatically, that system, because the driver has to have the app, the driver has to have the application, Truck Logics. It's like right there. Yeah, they have to have that application, and while it's open, they know when they get to the delivery location, and it sends the email. So this saves check calls from us. We don't have to answer as many calls. Yes, saves time and money. So that's what we've been working on as far as those systems go. And what else?
The last
accountant.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the accounting part, I have to get in order as far as like, the bookkeeping and stuff goes. And I spoke with a lady this past weekend, about, she's a business analyst or something like that.
Okay.
So she's going to be like reviewing all our numbers.
She got some degree.
She has a master's in finance.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she has a master's in finance, and she I showed her everything. She's like, "Where are you keeping all your data? Where are you keeping all your data? How are you keeping track? How do you know that this is a good lane or something for you to run? How do you know how much you're actually spending here, and so on and so forth?" And she was just like, basically, dude, we need to, what systems are you using to keep up with your data and stuff like that? And outside of Excel, because Excel, we input that stuff. So Truck Logics will be great because it shows you the miles. It shows you everything you spend on fuel. It shows you completely like everything. So I can just print that out, and she said she can look over it and, put everything inside of charts. So this way, when we go to banks or when we go back to the client, we let them know, like, listen, we're spending a little more here, and so on and so forth. So
Yeah,
she's
dude,
excited.
I was gonna say, with people who can do that for you, it's decrypting a lot of your business, because you're familiar with the normal transactions. Okay, we got to pay for this, got to pay for this, got to pay for this. But what she's gonna do is go macro with you and help you see it all in the same, like kind of what I've been trying to do for you with your business. She's just gonna go macro for you on your numbers with simplicity. Gonna have it with those charts. Like that would be really, really insightful, and I think that's a good idea to have her look over those things, because with people who can read numbers like that and like look for patterns and look for those things and like decrypt a lot of that, really, really helpful.
Okay, yeah, man. You're not trying, dude. You're actually doing it. I wouldn't be at this point, so I hope you do
True.
see like some growth, a little bit. I feel it. I see it. I feel a lot of relief, knowing that I have some direction to go in, and this stuff is actually working. So you are helping me.
I was, even though like what we talked about, we didn't record it last week, but I was hyped last week. I was like, yes. I was like, this is sweet, because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing these for, not to just chat, although it's fun. It's
right. Yeah.
To see growth and improve.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. I can't wait for you to come in and just talk to the whole team. Yeah, man, it's gonna be.
By the way, when are you wanting to do that?
Soon, man. Soon, whenever you finish up school. When do you?
Well, I was gonna say I could do it like in between semesters, or I mean, because it's not like, I mean, I'm online for all my classes right now.
Okay.
And the summer is more chill anyways. So if you wanted to do something, either in between the summer A and summer B, or if we would just want to do it in summer B, I'm down to do it sometime soon if you want. We don't got to wait till I'm out of school, because that'd be next spring or something like that.
I know. All right,
Yeah.
Perfect, man. We'll fly you in. We'll get that scheduled.
Yeah,
yeah. We'll fly you in, and I'll have those guys ready. And I tell them about you all the time, so they need to hear it. You're on top of me, and I go get on top of them. But they need to hear from you, man.
Yeah. So with the last one, with the recruiting, are you have you systematized anything with that yet, or is it mainly you just followed up on the initial thing that we did way back when with the ads, and you followed up with that? Okay, which is okay too, because it's not like with where you're at too, with the trucks and availability, it's not like you're going to need 20 drivers in the reserves.
Exactly.
So it's not like that needs to be a big area, but we were able to plug that leak and get some of those things back in. So that's good. So that can be something, that and the financing, I think, are going to be the two things, which especially when the analysts like help show you like where your money's going and predicting patterns. I think those are going to be like the two bottlenecks that we'll be focusing on in the future, because especially now that you have that technology, which that's huge, because technology is scalable like that. So if it's going to be sending out those emails, it doesn't require people. I mean, that's huge.
Yes.
So it's mainly going to be, at least from my predictions, the bottlenecks are going to be the financing and the recruiting. But you're going to be doing that trucking school too, so that'll be awesome.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. That'll save us a lot, but we still have to go through the same procedure and protocol. We got to be on top of it. Because we need to make sure that we're hiring the right drivers, when it comes to that. Yeah, they're going through the school, but is he or she the perfect fit for our company? So you're absolutely right about, focusing on the recruiting, because we have to recruit these people to come in to the school, so that's major. So as far as like the processes with that, I've just been following up with old leads, just touching base with old leads. I haven't posted, but Umar, he put up some posts just from like some old pictures that we had. We took new pictures with the equipment, no videos. We took more pictures when we went down and met with the mayor and people back in our old hometown, like just, prepping them and priming them for the trucking school that will be launching in the next, month or so. So he put those things out, and we got a lot of great feedback from that as well. So I'm just going to follow up with those people.
Awesome. Yeah, one of the things that I'm going to suggest to you, which this is going to be like a little bit of throwback to what we were originally talking about, but dude, document this process as much as you can, man. Like,
okay.
I don't care if it's like I don't care if it's just a picture or a small little video. As much as you can, document some of this stuff, because bro, this is going to be one of those things too that you not only is it going to help like with attracting like other people to you, but it's going to be fun for you to like look back on, even with simple pictures, even with small little videos. Like I almost don't even want you to think about what we were talking about before with the looking at as an authority and, trying to be perceived as an authority with all these different things, but like just document some of the stuff, because I think when some people see that like you're actually doing things and they're going to be attracted to that anyways, and you're going to be like, okay, I was just documenting it. I wasn't trying to put on for anybody necessarily, but so that would be one of my encouragements to you, is to just start documenting some of this stuff, because you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's growing. You're getting people. You're getting more trucks. So it's like, just start posting some of that stuff. It doesn't got to be anything special.
Okay. All right. Perfect, man. Because get caught up in that.
I know you do, bro. You're in your head with it. I told you that was going to happen. Like, yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. So that needs a lot of attention. A little more attention.
Yeah, not a lot yet. Not a lot yet. Because I would say we hit the turning point when we focused on the systems of your business. So yes. I'm saying dabble in that. Do not focus on it yet. You gotta keep on these systems, because we just started here. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We're just on this. This is why today we wanted to do the review session for it. Before we move on to any of the new aspects for it. But I would say dabble in it. For sure, dabble
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So with any of the systems that you have in place, or anything in your business right now that's going on that relates to any of what we talked about, do you have any like questions or insights from any of those that you want to talk about for this one? Because I know today was like kind of review, but.
So for the, let me see, that recruiting one. So we can talk about the recruiting, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the recruiting. So the question that I have for you, or what I want to touch on as far as the recruiting goes, is does it solely have to be on, social media?
No.
That's my main thing. Like, I know everything is just like, I got to get out of my old fashioned ways, but man, like, is there any other ways that we can recruit outside of, online, as far as like physical goes,
Yes. So it might be a weird illustration, but this is how I think. If you're a general of an army, you're not just going to be like, all right, we're just going to send these troops in. We're just going to march them front and center, and just go on down. We're going to have some intel go around back. We're going to have some people flying over. We're going to have some cavalry over. This is like old times, whatever. Well, they're not right. Flying, you get what I'm saying. You're going to have multiple strategies to defeat the enemy. Okay. If your goal, the enemy, although not the enemy, is recruiting.
Right.
You should not just have one strategy with it. You should have a main strategy and constantly be testing out others on the sides.
Okay.
When you're testing out the others on the sides, you're looking at, okay, if I know this main one works, I'm constantly going to be looking for others, because one, if this main one shuts off, I don't want to be, held hostage to this main one. So I want to test in relation to this main one that I have, how well do these other ones work? What's the cost of these other ones? Okay, I have free strategies over here. Okay, I have 3 free strategies over here that I'm going to be testing. Okay, let's see how effective this one is. Okay, this one, you're only going to be doing this if you're just starting up. Like, I'm not doing this with a full business. I'm not doing this. Hey, this one, okay, not bad. We'll consider it. These other ones over here. Okay, if I'm on social media and I'm paying for some stuff, okay, let me consider some other paid streams right here to get some drivers. Okay, these people said they recruit drivers for you. Okay, let's test them out for a couple months. This one right here, these are, direct mailers. Okay, maybe a little bit more expensive. We'll see that. But what you should be doing is constantly be testing out other vehicles to achieve the goal. You don't just want to have one, and because it's working well, be like, oh, well, I don't need to look at others. That's how people get caught. That's how people are lacking in their business, because it's like they think that they hit gold and that the goal is just going to be there forever. And it's like gold runs out. And I could make the argument for why social media gold will never run out, because it is a great resource.
The gold mine.
But you get what I'm saying. Like, don't, just because one is like a really, really big Goldstream. It doesn't mean, don't go testing out other vehicles,
Yes.
So,
Man,
one of them could even be the simple type of kid who's like trying to start the landscaping business in high school. It's like, hey, passing out some flyers, putting up some signs, and like, you can test out anything. Like, I would not judge, even though that sounds very, very elementary for this. Here's the thing: you never know who sees this, who sees those, who's in your community. You don't know everyone in your community. What if one of those signs that you posted in a random behind place, the guys, you just don't know. Maybe he's not even in the guy in that trucking business, but he knows someone who is. You just never know. So it's like, I would not underestimate anything that's free, and just because it like looks small, give it a shot.
Yeah, man, they'll have a big impact. So I appreciate you, clarifying that, because these are things that go through my mind, and I'm like, excuse me 1 second, dude.
Yeah.
I'm with me. All right, thank you. Thank you. I have it. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so we have the equipment on the road. We have trailers and everything on the road. So my thing is, all right, what if we just post like signage or something on the trucks? These people see the trucks all the time,
Yeah. Okay, here's the other thing I'm going to tell you, because I see this a lot with people who have their own businesses too. The second they're achieving success, they begin to disrespect the things that got them there.
Yeah.
So, for example, the signs on the trucks. It's like, okay, that's definitely something that people, starting out do. Okay, well, we're at a certain point now. We won't. Don't disrespect the small steps. So, like, something as simple as that, go for it, man. Go for it.
Okay. Yeah, man. Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Because, dude, here's how I see it too. We're all playing a game in different industries, but regardless, the game is the thing that trumps over everything. It's like in any sport, if you start disrespecting basketball because you think you're some hot stuff, well, some young kid's gonna come up and just smoking you back. Man, I thought I was the stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like anything. If you don't stay on top of things and you don't respect the game's gonna hurt you with it, and you're gonna get lazy. And so I would say anything that you can do to get the word out there, do it. But always be testing. Don't do it just to do it. Be testing it compared to other vehicles. Be like, okay, just start getting your measurements for each type of marketing tactic that you use.
Okay. I like that, man. I like that. I think it's, and that's so true that you mentioned that. It's like, all right, and I even said it earlier. He was like, no, we're just getting the systems in place.
Yes.
We're just getting this in place. Let's, we can dabble in that.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. I didn't even realize that I did say it. But dabble. That's exactly right. You always want to be dabbling while having your main one, but you do want to dabble.
Okay. All right. Man. Yeah, that's perfect. So that was my main thing with the recruiting. Gotta think outside of the box, because if it's not broke, don't fix it,
Don't fix it, but also be trying to test where it could break. That's the thing too. It's like this is where like case studies of different businesses come in handy, because sometimes I can't necessarily name any off the top of my head, but like sometimes you'll see, what was it? It was the book Only the Paranoid Survive by Andy Grover. Yeah, Only the Paranoid Survive. And in his book, he was talking about with his company, how they had to make a big pivot in their company because they saw a change coming, and they adapted to it, and they beat it before it beat them. Only the Paranoid Survive. Yeah, that's one of the books there. And it's just taking the principles of, hey, be paranoid in the sense of always be looking for where your company could get beat or overtaken. Always be looking for that. And then when you go down smaller, okay, in my marketing strategy, where in this marketing strategy can I get beat out, by someone else, by whatever else? In my recruiting, where can I get beat out in this? Always be thinking that someone's coming for you in that area. And that will kind of train your mind to go, all right, what am I not seeing here? What what are my blind spots here? And then you can adjust and build for that.
That's perfect. So when you said that, because I'm like, all right, man, paranoid. Do I need to know when to turn this on and off? Or is this something, is this like a mindset that I should have with, in every
Okay.
area? You get what I'm trying to ask?
Oh, I know what you're saying. So here's what I'll say to you. Depending on your vision is going to depend on how much of paranoia you need. You think
Okay.
Amazon isn't constantly thinking about how to take other people out and how they're going to be getting taken out? You think about CEOs. Whenever they hear, hey, Amazon's entering your market. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yep.
Most people respond like that because they didn't plan for it. And then Amazon just has swamped people, bro. Like they just take them out. Same thing with any company who's huge. The CEO has to constantly think about, what do you think about the president of the United States? He has to constantly think about, okay, who are my enemies? Where are they going to try and get us? Where? And they're on all the different fronts: financial, cybersecurity, physical invasion, border, all the different stuff. All right, where are they trying to come in? So depending on how big your vision is going to depend on how much that you need. And so, you can see, not that you're trying to go for a paranoid life, because this is the thing too, I think that we could understand here. God's in control of all of it, but it doesn't prepare. So I don't say paranoia in a sense of maybe how some other people would say it, like I'm constantly freaking out, constantly, no. But I'm going to be constantly be looking for where I could get, attacked, or where I could get taken advantage of. And I'm going to prepare for it and plan for it and build accordingly. That's what I mean by that. Constantly be looking out. Like for me, my brain, I think about this stuff all the time.
Okay.
It's just a truth of it. But for me, it's not like an anxious driven thing. It's just like, it's just kind of how my brain processes things for where I want to go.
Okay. I like that, man. I like that. So because it don't have to be like, I get exactly what you're saying. All right, when I get to this point, or if this happens, I have to pivot, or make this move, or go in this direction, know.
Or, and dude, I'm just going to be real with you here too. Or, hey, what happens if an employee here takes money from me and then turns on me and then bashes the company? What am I going to do in that circumstance? Those are things that I've thought about, and I'm not even. I'm like, okay, how would I respond? How would I plan for that? How, those are things that you got to think about. Hey, what happens when the dude who I trust the most, the girl who I trust the most in my business, who I've given them these things, how am I going to protect my butt against that? It's literally planning for everything. But that's not to like freak us out. It's just going, hey, this is reality. People people are great, and some people are a little rough around the edges, and bad things happen. I've experienced a few of those in my life, like for sure, and I was not prepared for them, which is actually probably why I think of it like this, because I told you with my landscaping business, right? Yeah, couldn't have seen it. Would have had all of college paid for and then nothing, and so you're working with a guy for 3 months, you're like, okay, I didn't, so those are just things that you learn.
Yeah, man, you're absolutely right, dude. Absolutely right. 100%. Man, I like that. I'm going to check into this.
Yeah, that would be the biggest piece of advice for you, is your vision will determine that level that you need to have.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's perfect, man. But other than that, so far, so good. I don't feel burdened. For one, I don't feel like any and every, God won't give me, he won't place anything on my plate that, I can't handle, So it's just a matter of how am I going to handle it,
And that's why we said we'll take the long view. I was like, there's a lot of things to work on, Lorenzo, but I was like, we'll take the long view. We'll take it 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time. And then you look back in a year and go, oh, wow, we did get all that done in a year. In the day-to-day, it might feel slow, but in the year, you're like, okay, we changed pretty much everything. Cool.
So I think that's coming together well. It's coming together well.
For my sake, because I'm thinking about this, being in your shoes with getting your systems in place, you're starting to get some of those truckers back, some of those drivers back. So like, that's good. So things are going to be in the upward motion. with me asking you before on, your own personal values and then your company's values, how much would you say that your people within your company, whether the drivers or the employees, are aligned within, they could even know what the mission of this company is or the vision of this company? How many would you say could answer that?
About, do they all know?
Percentage.
Yeah, all right. Percentage about, man, it's at about 40, about 40%, you know?
Okay, because with me thinking through this with you, that may be the next thing that we move on to
Okay.
for the next couple of calls. It's okay, now that we got all these things, all these subconscious things out of your head and onto paper, and people can see them. Now let's get your vision, your mission out of your head and onto paper, and get those values out of your head and onto paper. That way we can pass those down as well to the employees and the drivers. Be like, hey, if you're working with this company, know what we're about, know our standards, so that, that's kind of going to be the thing that you're going to be doing moving forward, and that we can probably spend the next couple of calls on. And then we'll start to see, okay, now we're getting the team aligned with systems and they're kind of acting autonomously, but now we're going to get the mental side of things, which is like the ethics and the mission and the vision, where we're trying to go. Now they can get their own fire, because you got fire in your belly, because you know where you want to go. But do they have fire in their belly coming to work?
Yep.
Maybe not. Maybe they're just thinking about, okay, I'm getting paid this much, and that's the fire. It's like, no. Let's expand your thinking, because I want to transfer to you guys why I made my business model like this. I want to tell you guys why I'm paying you guys more as drivers. Like, this is why I set it up like this. This is where we're trying to go. So, we can start putting all that onto paper, and maybe even increasing the drive of a lot of those people as well.
Yes, man, that is important.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, dude. I would love to touch up on that and actually spend some time on that,
Mm-hmm.
because, we have the mission statement, but like you said, who knows it? And that's what me and Umar were speaking about earlier. He was like, and he remembered, because we started it together. And once I got all caught up in this stuff, I'm like, oh man, I'm handling this. He like, dude, tell me your mission. What's your mission statement? Tell me what your mission statement is. And we kind of just went like blank. And he was like, dude, never lose sight of that. Like, no matter what. But he read it back. He has the plan in front of him and everything. And he read it back to me. I'm like, dude, thank you for, reminding me, because I kind of, I got away from it. All this stuff was going on that I wasn't paranoid enough to see that this kind of stuff was going to happen, and I didn't plan for it. And it kind of not really knocked me off course, but brought me to a halt. Now I'm figuring out, when I should have been being proactive, figuring out along the way. And now I'm figuring out how to handle this and handle that, and who's the right person for this, when these things should have been, mapped out already. But the mission statement, let's do that. Let's put that at the top of the list, because when we recruit these drivers, they need to know, they need to harness this. It needs to be almost like embedded in them, So
yeah, the three things, it's the vision, the mission, and the values. That's what we'll go over. The vision is what you see in your head for this company. The mission is the reason why we want to accomplish the vision. So for example, if we take like Jesus with the great commandment, go. That's the mission. Go.
Yeah.
The vision, what's the vision? Because he wants us to be in heaven with him one day. But the mission is go, right?
Yeah.
And so if you have a vision of seeing X amount of, drivers and being, countrywide or, worldwide, whatever it is, that's your end goal. Like, that's the vision of what you're trying to like get your drivers to think more about, get your employees to think more about. And the mission is the why, the how to. It's to go therefore into all the nation, baptize, that's what we're that's what we're going to be doing to accomplish the big picture, which is the vision.
Right.
And the values, it's, the purely, all the stuff that Jesus was talking about, for his disciples. So you can see
Right.
even within him, he does give the vision, the mission, and the values. So with your
Yeah.
company, it's going to be, okay, this is ultimately what we want. Mission, it's how we're going to be getting there, the tangible of it, and the values. Hey, if you're within this company, this is how we're going to operate. So
Yeah.
that's what we can kind of go over in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, I like that. I like that. I really do. I really do. Because the vision, they understand, core values, we preach those, but it's like, all right, what are we working towards?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And why do I have to hold these
Mm-hmm.
core values,
Yeah.
And so the vision, man, that's deep. I just learned something new. Thank you. Because I was so caught up on, just mission for years, mission
Yep.
and values. I didn't realize that the vision was separated from, mission.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't know that.
I'll pull this up too if I can remember it right. But yeah, a lot of people, man, I just said that's yeah, I pulled up the Bible app and it says you love the Bible, and I clicked no, and I was like, whoops. Okay, let me pull this up here. But a lot of people get the vision and mission mixed up. They think that it's one and the same. It's like, yo, they're not the same.
It's not the same, dude.
Yeah, it's not the same at all. I think this is it. I think it's Proverbs 29:18, but it's essentially where there is no vision, the people, no, that's not it. Hold on. I want to get this for you because it's good.
Oh yeah, man. You always
Vision.
some good references.
Yeah, so it's this Proverbs 29:18. Yeah, just a different version. Okay, here we go. Where there is no vision, the people perish. It says, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. So that's probably the King James version. But yeah, where there is no vision, the people perish. And so that's what to think about, where there is no direction, where there is no guidance, people perish.
Yeah.
So vision, mission, and values.
That's deep. Man.
That's what
where there is no vision, the people perish.
Mm-hmm. And the different translations are going to render it different ways, but that one was the King James one.
Excuse me, the bus. I like that. I'm going to focus on that. Where there is no vision, people perish. It's amazing how we can use these things and just, that's what it's there for, to be applied in our everyday life.
Yeah. Cool.
Man.
Any last questions for you?
Oh man, you knocked it out the park once again. And I just want to make sure that I'm clear on what we're gonna touch base on, and that's, of course, vision, mission, values. So you said we're gonna focus on vision, mission, and values.
Yes, we're gonna start. We're gonna start with vision, because I want to get what's in your head, Lorenzo. Like you briefly talked about it. You're like, yeah, it's mainly financial for me. That's what you've mainly told me.
Right.
But I want to get it out of your head. Like I want to expand your thinking and be like, all right, Lorenzo, I don't want to think big just for the sake of thinking big, but like really, if you could have this company to where you want it, what is that place? For some people, it's like $1 million. It's like, dude, really, that's all I want to go, because responsibility comes with it.
Yes.
So some people it's like, no, like really, I don't want anything more than this amount because I like the response. I like where it's at. For some people it's like, yo, 50. Other people you're like in the billions. So it's like, I want to know not the necessarily financial amount, although we could talk about that. I want to know what you see for this company. Do you see 100 drivers with your company? Do you see 20? Do you see 1,000? Do you see it worldwide? Do you see it national? I want to start going through some of those things with you and be like, all right, what if you could have it the way you want it? Where do you really see this? And then the mission, we can start. I'll ask you questions live, like for that stuff, and then the values, and then we can talk about how to distribute that to the company. And then
Okay, all
then
right.
you said Omar too. That's right, Omar.
Man, I wanted to have him. I said I'll wait. Yeah, I wanted him, to be here, or to
Is he
be a part of it.
a co-founder with you or?
He is. So he was when I had one truck. We've been playing ball since we were kids,
Hmm.
together on all the same teams and everything. And like I mentioned, as far as like work, we all went out here and kind of worked like dead end jobs. Or we saw our parents work dead end jobs, and that's when I came across trucking, and I seen the freedom that it offered me. I seen the things that we were blessed with. You know, First and foremost, we were blessed with. I was blessed to be in this position to see something from a different perspective.
Mhm.
And I went to Umar, and I just was like, dude, it's I've been fortunate to see something else, man. We don't have to work this way, or we need to change the way that we think, man. This is what you can do. And I told him, he said, really? I said, yes, dude, this is what you can do. And he jumped right in with me. No plan or nothing. The vision, like I sold it to him, and he reminded me of it today, the vision, the mission. And that's what he brought me back to today. But that's what I sold him in the beginning, and he's just been on top of it.
Mhm.
And
So he is a
we've
co-founder
been
with you, or
together ever since.
are you the only founder, and then he just joined you right when you started it?
Yes, that's
The
how it
latter.
is
The
for now.
latter. Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Yes,
Gotcha. Yeah, I
yeah,
didn't
yep.
know with the
So
way you were
that's
talking about,
pretty
like,
much.
is this some business guy who bought in, and I didn't know what the dynamics were, but
Oh
that's
yeah,
yeah, that's cool.
yeah. So that's how that is. But when it gets to certain points, we had to. And if I can leave you with this, and he'll mention it too, if you do like want to meet him and we talk
Yeah.
about it. He will tell you that the vision is important. I'm gonna leave you with this, because he said once we got to like a breaking point, like where it was like, all right, where do we go from here?
Mhm.
It was like everything was good. We were fighting, we were persevering through everything. We were learning business, and it got to a point where the separation came. It wasn't like a bad thing. It wasn't like over money or anything like that, because we're both God fearing. We understand these things, so we don't get into too much of that. However, it was like I knew the vision. I knew where I wanted the company to be. I knew what I wanted. So I said, listen, stand here. I'm going to take the bull by the horns, and I'm going to control it. I'm going to go out and get it. And he says it all the time. And he was like, look at where we are today. And it was like, at that time, we were at about like 2 pieces of equipment. Now we have 9 pieces of equipment, and these relationships and those, because I knew where I wanted the company,
Right.
and I wasn't allowing anything to like hold me back from that. But it's important that they know what
And that
is,
they get inspired by it too.
exactly.
It can't just
So,
be for Lorenzo.
right.
Like one thing that I think is doesn't go so much for Jesus and his vision, but it's like, look, one of the things he said, he's like, hey, y'all gonna reign with me.
Yeah.
They're gonna reign with me. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
yo, that's like a reality for the Saints. It's like, we're gonna reign with him. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's definitely, whatever your vision is, make sure it like is inspiring to the people too, and that it's not just like, all right, we're gonna do something for Lorenzo. It's like, no, we're
Right.
gonna do something bigger than Lorenzo.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do something where we can all win.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. So that's where we are now.
Okay.
That's where we are now.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. So let's focus on that, and we'll meet again, guys. Well,
Mm-hmm.
next Saturday. Next Saturday.
Yep. Next Saturday. All right, man.
Yeah.
Sounds
All
good.
right. Thank you for your time as always, man. This was great, man. What we have about an hour and a half together
Yeah,
today.
about an hour and a half. I'm have a chill day today, so it's good.
Yeah, man. So that is awesome. Maybe I could get some of these documents over to you as well.
Yeah. Send
Yeah,
whatever.
so that you can see them and have them on your end, and when I'm explaining it, you can see
Yeah.
what I see. So I want to do that, and after this week, I want to send this business plan over to you,
Okay.
so that you can kind of so you can get in my head,
Mhm.
see what we're working towards, instead of just words and stuff like that. You can see it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Sounds good, man.
All right. All right, boss man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
All right, bro. I'll see you.
All right. Be blessed. All right.